Kia ora, ko dia ho, hara mai, welcome to Homemade Let's Cook. I know you're joining in today because you're looking forward to making our mince and cheese pies. There are quite a few steps in this, but we're going to try and make them as simple as possible. We're going to start off at the stove and I'll just let you know what we're going to need before we get out over there. So I've got about half a cup of chopped carrot. I've got a quarter of a brown onion, and that is finely chopped. Get an adult to help. If you're not already an adult, get an adult to help you out with that. I've got a quarter of a cup of peas. I've got a 300 gram packet of premium beef mince. We've got a few herbs. We've got some thyme, oregano, got some garlic. We've got some garlic. We've got some tomato paste, half a tin of tomatoes, and we've got some smoked paprika. And of course I did mention that cheese, so we're going to use some cheese later on as well. And of course, because we're making pies, we're going to need some pastry too. And we are just going to use store-bought puff pastry for that. But let's make a start on the stove because we're going to make the filling and that needs to cool down before we go any further. Let's move across. So here we are at the stove. In my medium-sized pan, I've got just a couple of, say, dessert spoons or 1 tablespoon of oil. And into that, we're popping our chopped onion. Also going to add our carrot. There's about half a cup of carrot there. And we'll just fry them just for a couple of minutes until the onion is slightly golden brown. If you had some celery, you could add that too. So our vegetables have softened, and the next step is to add your mince. So we're just using 300 grams of beef mince, and you just want that to brown. So we'll come back when that's the case. So that's nicely browned off now, and you want it to be a nice dry mixture. So if you've got a little bit of moisture or fat that's come out of your mince, you want to keep on cooking that until most of that has evaporated. So now it's time for us to add our seasonings. So we're going to add a teaspoon of garlic, or it can be a clove of garlic if you prefer. A crushed clove of garlic, of course. Let's give that a little stir. Then I'm going to pop in some thyme, probably about half a teaspoon, just a little shake of thyme. Same with some oregano. Add a little bit of a stir. And then into that, we're going to put some smoked paprika. So about half a teaspoon of that. Again, give it a stir. And into that as well, we're just going to pop a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So they're your traditional seasonings. And again, give that a little bit of a stir. Now we're going to add our sauce ingredients. I've got a mixture here which is made up of a cup of diced tomatoes, a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and a teaspoon of tomato paste. And into that, I'm now going to put my peas. Your mixture will start to come to the boil, and we want to simmer it for about 10 to 15 minutes with the lid on. Make sure you keep an eye on it so it doesn't get too dry. See you back shortly. So there is our lovely steaming meat pie filling. If you consider it's a little bit too wet for what you would normally find inside a meat pie, just take off the lid and let it boil down for a little bit longer. Get an adult to help you out if you're not already an adult yourself. It will look a lot like spaghetti bolognese topping as well. So now all we need to do is to let that cool down for at least 30 minutes. You want it to be cool before the next step. I'll see you soon. Well, welcome back. One would argue this is the most exciting part, and this is putting our little pies together. So we've got the oven heating up, 180 to 190 degrees. We've got our puff pastry sheets ready to go. I'm just going to make a few examples here for you. So I've got a cutter here. I'm going to trace around that with my knife. And we just need a lid, and the lid of course will be slightly smaller. We've got our trays ready to go as well, so they have been greased. And I've also put a little bit of baking paper in the bottom as well. They're actually jumbo muffin pans, the pan that I am using. So I'll just take 4 of these. So I've just cut those circles out. I traced around them anyway. Take that out. Bring it across our tray. And pop that into the muffin pan. So sometimes when you're using slightly different sizes, you don't really have a cutter that's the size of a proper muffin pan, but we'll just go through the process of what we do here. So we've got our mixture, of course, that's been cooled. We've got our cheese. Now it's up to you what cheese you would like to use. And if you're just using things that you've got in the fridge, then by all means, any cheese will be fine. If you've got a couple of different types, all the better as well. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put a slice of cheese on the bottom of each. Then we're going to put in some of our a little bit of our mixture, just to cover the bottom. I'm going to pop some cubes of cheese. I'm just putting 3 in here. And put some more mixture on the top. Finish with another slice of cheese on top of that. And then top with the top sheet of pastry. Pinch the sides together. And by all means, add a little bit of decoration to the top. We might do something for these, I think. Might just put a couple of triangles on the top. Uses up the leftover pastry, of course, as well. And maybe might put a star on the other one. Just do a 5-pointed star. And then, of course, I've got some egg wash ready. And hopefully I can get the star out of the pastry. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. We could have done a diamond. That might have been a little bit easier. Just put something on there. Just something a little bit fun. And then just pop over your egg wash. And that'll give us a nice bit of colour. And then they go into the oven for about 30 minutes. I'm going to make a couple more and we'll see you back after they're done. See you soon. So here are our mince and cheese pies, straight from the oven. I'm going to let them cool in the tin for a few moments before taking them out, and then we'll show them to you on a plate. Enjoy them with plenty of tomato sauce or whatever else it is that you prefer. Thanks for joining us today for Homemade. Ka kite.